we say law, statutes, and commandments, really, what do they mean? Hallelujah. According to Scripture. I was gonna go into the finish out the lesson on the tabernacle, and that last part was gonna be about the body, how the body represents the tabernacle. But we'll cover that next Shabbat. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Definitely, we'll get into that. All right, we're gonna go into like I said, dealing with the laws, the statutes, and commandments. But before we do that, we're gonna get into some definitive terms, breaking it down a little bit according to a couple of different definitions. Everybody all right? Everybody good?
Good. Hallelujah.
You feel better after praise and worship, man. I'm telling you, man. You feel it's like you're gonna run a mile after that. Telling you. Saying praise and worship do something to you, man. Especially we just got off this fast too. The Most High doing something. All praises. Hallelujah. We're gonna go into talking about the law. The first thing we're gonna get an understanding of is the law. I went and pulled it up in the Cambridge, see what the Cambridge dictionary said about the law, and it went into a little definition. Going into talking about a rule made by a government. And we know that government is the Most High who rules. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
That states how people may or may not behave in society or in business. That's all the law covers. How you supposed to react with each other in society, and when you're dealing business with your brother and sister. Dealing with not usury, charging interest on your brother and all those type of things. That's what the law goes into. And often orders particular punishments. Yep, that's what the scripture offers. The law also goes into different punishments if they do not obey or a system of such rules. So that's definitely in line with what the Most High law entails. Hallelujah. We're going to go into another definition dealing with the statutes, and then we're going to break down, we're going to go into the scriptures and give instances of these things and give clarity to them. All right, a statute, an act of legislature that declares or prescribes or commands something. That's what a statute is. A specific law expressed in writing. A statute is written law passed by legislature, which is the Most High on the state on a federal level. All that deal with the Most High. He don't need nobody to, hey, what you think about this law? He just gave it to you. Hallelujah.
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 But I'm just giving a definitive term, just to kind of give us something to understand how the law works. Because if you don't understand what law in America came from, where you think it got where it came from? It came out the scriptures. That's well, a lot of the law. Now they did their own little, twisted it, but you can definitely see instances of where they taking a lot of the Bible and using it for the government. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Because they understand that this book is right. They know what law's supposed to look like, though they unrighteous in it. But they took in bits and pieces of it and used it to run this society that we're in. All right. One little part I want to go into this. Okay, this means the judicial opinion in the case will guide laws created through judicial opinion stand in I can't get that word right. Contradistinction to laws created in statutes. Case law has the same legally binding effect as statutory law, but there are important distinctions between statutes and case law. Case law is written by judges, not by elected lawmakers, and it is written in response to a specific case before the court. A judicial opinion may be used as a precedent for similar cases. However, this means that the judicial opinion in the case will guide the result in similar cases. In the sense of judicial opinion can constitute the law on certain issues. Within a particular jurisdiction, courts can establish law in this way when no statute exists to govern a case or when the court interprets a statute. Okay, basically what they're saying is there is always a law. Most High always gave us a law, right? And within that law, there's a language within that law. Say, for example, the man that was gathering sticks on the Shabbat. Well, before that, before he was gathering sticks, the Most High gave he was going into talking about, in Numbers 15, he was talking about them that sin through, I can't think of the word, ignorance. When they sin through ignorance. Well, they can bring a sacrifice for their ignorance because they didn't understand the law or nobody told them or something. So through your ignorance, you were able to bring forth a sacrifice. And the scripture said that would be covered. And he said those who acted presumptuously, those who just disregarded the Most High law, they would be dealt with by the Most High. Now, then it dropped down and said that a man came gathering sticks on the Shabbat. And they was like, so what do we do about this man? So they had to, through that situation, through him gathering sticks, they had to gather a council together. They came to Moses, and then they sought the Most High, because they didn't have an answer. They're like, because this never happened before. That's kind of how laws usually come into effect, even in America. Different things have to happen. They're like, okay, what do? We don't have a law to govern this. Okay, boom, we'll put a law, or if it's a law in place, it might be something that happened that necessarily doesn't deal with the law directly. So they're like, okay, and this is a clause that said, if you out past this time, then this will happen. So that's what it is. It was like kind of a clause to the law. So they dealt with, well, in fact, we'll go into that real quick. Let's give an example real quick. Numbers 15:29. Let's go into it. Let's read it. Dealing with a statute real quick. When we say laws, statutes, and commandments, sometimes we don't really know what they really mean. So we're going to go into it real quick. Numbers 15 and 29 through 38. You got it, so hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
When somebody got it, you can read it.
You said 29 to what?
29 and 38.
There will be one set of instructions. Wait a minute.
You about right.
Hold on, I got the wrong version. I didn't have my King James version. Okay. Ye shall have one law for him that sinneth through ignorance, both for him that is born among the children of Israel, and for the stranger that sojourneth among them.
Mm-hmm.
But the soul that doeth aught presumptuously,
Mm-hmm.
whether he be born in the land or a stranger, the same reproaches the Lord, the Elohim, and the soul shall be cut off from among his people. Because he hath despised the word of the Elohim, and hath broken his commandment, that soul shall utterly be cut off.
Okay, so we see there, that's the Most High is giving instruction, talking about the one, like I said, one that had the sin, that sinned through error. His sin can be forgiven, but the one that just don't care about the Most High law, he know the law and understand the commandments and the judgments, the penalty that'll be handed down through that law, he'll be dealt with. Continue. He'll be utterly cut off. Go ahead.
His iniquity shall be upon him.
Exactly, it's gonna be on you.
And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathereth sticks upon the Sabbath day.
Uh-huh.
And they that found him gathering sticks brought him unto Moses and Aaron and unto all the congregation.
Uh-huh.
And they put him in ward, because it was not declared what should be done to him.
All right, so when they seen them gathering, it was something different. It was weird, because they like everybody chilling, everybody relaxing, or it might be a synagogue or whatever. I mean, not synagogue, because they're in the wilderness, but everybody relaxing, everybody might be reading or doing something other than what he doing. He out there, everybody chilling, like, right, what we doing, he over there gathering sticks. So it's like, why you gathering everybody over here? And it looked like work, so they don't really know, can define if he really working or not. That's the reason why they brought him to Moses, and Moses and them couldn't really decide. So they had to be like, okay, is he really working or is he not? Because it was indecisiveness, because they couldn't predict or understand, is he working? I mean, he ain't out here, breaking his back. He just gathering some sticks. So is it really work? So that's what happened when they sought counsel. They sought deliberation through Moshe, the elders, and they amongst the congregation, and continue and put them in war. They even put them in prison. That's what the word, when they talk about that war, when you look up that word mishmar in Hebrew, that deal was imprisonment. They locked them up. Hey man, stay right here until we get this figured out. All right. So they wanted to figure out what was going on and what should we do in this matter. All right, because there was no law governing this man gathering sticks. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right, now keep going.
And the Elohim said unto Moses, the man shall be surely put to death.
And read it again.
And the Elohim said unto Moses, the man shall be surely put to death. All the congregation shall stone him with stones without the camp. And all the congregation brought him without the camp and stoned him with stones. And he died, as the Elohim commanded Moses.
Oh, what you got? So basically, after the deliberation, they didn't understand. They sought the Most High, and the Most High gave quick. He gave his judgment. There wasn't no deliberating with him. We're going to deliberate with the Most High. Nah, kill him. That was the judgment. That's part of the law, statute, commandment, and judgment. That's when you saw deliberation. That's what, and then we're going to read the statute that was put in place. Because we had the law was in place, remember? We had a law that was there in place. About the law, hold on, I'm sorry. Yeah. When we go into the, what verse you was at?
I was at
You was at
36.
37? 36?
I was at 36.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so all the congregation, they stoned him. Okay, the Most High gave deliberation due to the law. And they spake unto him, saying, speak unto the children of Israel and bid them to make fringes in the borders of their garments. And in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put on the fringe of blue in the borders of a ribbon of blue. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that you may look up on it and do what? Remember all the commandments and do of Yahuwah, and do them. So through the man breaking, oh my bad, Exodus 20, pull it up. Thank you, Most High. As the precept came to me, I'm like, what law, Most High? I'm looking. Exodus 20. The law was in place, but it didn't have that fine print or, that lettering, that told that can govern whether this man could gather sticks or not, or whether he was righteous for gathering sticks. So Exodus 20, when you got it, say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right, let's get into it. Let's see what the script say. All right, let's drop down. I think that's verse 6, verse 9. 8. 20 and 8. Remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. 6 days thou shalt labor and do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Shabbat of Yahuwah thy Elohim. In it thou shalt not do any work. Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. 11. For in 6 days Yahuwah made heaven and earth, the sea and all that is in that in them is, and rested on the 7th day. Wherefore Yahuwah blessed the Shabbat day and hallowed it. All right. So it say the 6th day thou shalt labor and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Shabbat of the Most High Elohim, and thou shalt not do any work. He's saying that should no work be done. That's what the law was at. Boom, no work. So, but they seen him gathering sticks, so it was outside of what everybody else was doing. So they're like, man, come here, bro. And they brought him to Moshe. They brought him to the elders, and they was trying to figure out, is he breaking the Shabbat? But he knew in his mind he wasn't supposed to be gathering sticks anyway, or he wasn't supposed to be out there gathering. So the Most High, they couldn't figure it out, but the Most High gave deliberation, and the Most High said, kill him. Hallelujah. And then what law came after that? What was the clause? What was the statute that came after that?
The fringes.
That's why fringes came. Fringes wasn't something we was always doing. The Most High gave us the commandments, but then when that man came out there with them sticks, gathering the sticks, breaking the commandment, thou shalt not do no labor, Exodus 20, 8 and 9, when they found him doing that, boom, the Most High said, okay, boom, y'all wear these so you can remember to keep my law. That's the reason why. That's a statute. A statute can be a law. A statute is essentially a law, but it's just like fine print, basically. You see what I'm saying? The law said thou shalt not do no work. Well, if you get, now you know not to gather sticks, because that's part of the paperwork. Or you gonna die. All right? Everybody got it? Clear understanding? All right, let's get another instance of a statute. Leviticus 10. We're gonna get another what a statute look like. Statute is essentially a commandment. but it fills in that finer point of the commandment and give you, oh, this is what why I shouldn't do it. This is what, okay. It gives you a little bit more detail on the law. Let's go, everybody there, Leviticus 10.
Hallelujah.
All right, let's get into it. Leviticus 10. I need to get them. All right, Leviticus 10. All right, one of my favorites. Well, not my favorite, but and Nabal and Abihu, the sons of Aharon, or Aaron, took of them his censer and put fire therein, and put incense thereon, and offered strange fire before Yahuwah, and he commanded them not. So you understand, the priests, they were priests. They weren't just no regular layman Israelites. These two people, or brothers, because they were Aaron's sons. So they were Levitical priests. They had censers where you put fire. They kind of look like a little lamp, not really lamps. No lights go in them, but coal, and then all kind of incense goes in them, and you can swing them, and they'll have a whole bunch of smoke that'll come out of it when you wave it like that. And it puts off an incense. It puts off a smell, smoke, and it gives off a certain incense, and the Most High receive it according to what you put in it is right. If you don't put the wrong, well, of course, we're gonna read this story and see what happened, but the Most High gave the priests, when they begin to do those things, begin to do those type of functions, dealing with this the censer, that they had to put a specific type of incense inside of it. And let's continue. And then went out fire from Yahuwah. Remember, it's a foreign fire they lit. So it wasn't the things that was supposed to be in that. It was not the ingredients of what was supposed to be inside of that censer. It was not there. It was some foreign ingredient that they added that wasn't supposed to be in there. And there went out fire from Yahuwah and devoured them, and they died before Yahuwah. Then Moshe said unto Aharon, Aaron, this is that Yahuwah spake, saying, I will be sanctified in them that come nigh me, and before all people I will be glorified. And Aaron held his peace. So the Most High, Moshe began to speak to Aaron, because he already knew. He was furious. He was hot. You killed my sons. And Moshe spoke. You already know. He said, the Most High told you, when you come out of me, especially you being a priest, you got to make sure that you holy. Because who holy? He said, I be holy because what? I am holy.
You want to come over?
You come sit down, sis. He said, especially to the priest. The priest had to be set apart. The priest had to be set aside. How you doing, sis? You want to come sit down with us?
I heard y'all over there, and I just, it did something to me.
Come on, sit down with us then.
Yeah,
we got
come on,
food for the
sit
kids
down.
and everything. Come on.
Get them something to eat.
But we have
We
food
got
too.
something
You
right
want to
here.
listen to the lesson? Come on. You ain't got to spend your money. You can
Yeah, we
feed the
got
babies.
food over here. We got some drinks. Baby, we got put the sodas and all that for the kids. That's what it's about. Yeah. It's about doing the work,
Yeah.
man.
How you feeling?
All right. So we see that the strange fire went out. We're going to continue to let her deal with that. We're going to deal with this right here. That Moshe began to speak to Aaron and begin to declare and tell him and speak about what the Most High said. He said, I've been sanctified in you. Through the priesthood, the priest had to be set apart and sanctified to the Most High. The priest had to be separate from all people. And the Most High ordered them and even put it in the paperwork that anything that you did outside of the priesthood that was different than what was already written, your life was possibly at stake. Why? Because you had to exemplify another level of holiness to the people. You had to be set apart. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
But let's continue to read that thing. And he said, I will get the glory. I'm going to be glorified. They started doing something. They want something. We're going to see why they did what they did. And then what the Most High is going to add a statute to that. He said, then Moses, he said, I will be glorified. And Aharon held his peace. And he wanted to say something, but he didn't say nothing. And Moshe called Mishael and Elzaphan, the sons of Uziel, the uncle of Aharon, our uncle kids up, and said unto them, come near, carry your brethren from before the sanctuary out of the camp. So they came and got them and put them outside the camp. That's what wickedness do. Wickedness to call you to be outside the camp. Hallelujah. It'll separate you from the Most High. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
We don't deal with the camp, but we know the Most High don't accept sin. He don't accept unrighteousness. He'll give us that grace, that time of grace, but also grace runs out. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Grace runs out and you'll be put outside. Outside the camp. And the scriptures say there'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth when you get put outside. Hallelujah. We want to make sure we deal in righteousness. So, verse 5. So then went near and carried them in their coats out of the camp, as Moshe had said. And they whole get up. They had everything on. They got dragged out. They ain't take, Most High didn't want none of that. All that was cursed. You dealt wickedly, the Most High don't want none of that. Keep your stuff, man. Hallelujah. Verse 6, and Moshe said unto Haran, and unto Eleazar, and unto Ithamar, his sons, uncover your head. Told them, man, get that off your head. Neither wrench up, don't get mournful. Nope, don't cry, don't you do nothing. Because usually with Israelites, we rent our clothes when death happens. When mourning and all that happens, sickness fall on people, we rent our head and we cover ourselves with sackcloth and ashes. The Most High beginning speaking, Moshe told them not to mourn. Don't even mourn their death. Don't you shed a tear. He said, neither rent your clothes, least you die. You mourning for them, you gonna die.
Wow.
He said, you mourning for their death because they wicked, you gonna die. So you better not shed a tear. So you got everybody on hush right now. All right? Least wrath come up on all the people. Then wrath gonna come. If you do that, it ain't gonna just be you involved. It's gonna be everybody else with you. But least your brother and the whole house of Israel beware the burning which Israel had kindled. All right, verse 7. And ye shall not go out from the door of the tabernacle and of the congregation, lest ye die for the anointing oil. Yahuwah is upon you. Because you cover, when you the priest, he put the oil on you. He give you that whole consecration. Oil being on the priest. And they did according to the word of Moshe. And Yahuwah spake unto Aharon, Aaron saying, what he say? Do not drink wine nor strong drink. Thou nor thy sons with thee. Now rest of your sons too. When ye go into the tabernacle of the congregation, lest ye die, it shall be what?
A statute.
A statute forever throughout your generations. Now that was the fine print put in after you went in and you drank and you couldn't figure out which spice or what's supposed to go into that censer. Remember, they lit the censers, with the fire. But they was drunk. They was drunk with wine, so they couldn't apprehend. They put the wrong stuff in there. And the Most High killed them. Because why? They were inebriated before the Most High. They couldn't discern. So the Most High struck them dead. You can't see, you in my temple and you high, you drunk. You under another influence. Okay, boom, you dead. Now we gonna add a statute. Don't come in here drunk. Don't come in here with your stuff, or you gonna die. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Most High, he wasn't playing.
Yeah.
A lot of people, and that's the thing today. Most High got a lot of grace on it because some people come high, drunk, everything. People don't even care. But they also not the priest either. But that was a different, like I said, a different level of authority. When you the priest, you had to walk that fine line. You say, be holy, be set apart. All right. So we see that the statute came with that law because somebody came in there drunk. So the Most High said, from now on, nobody drinking. All right, let's go into the commandment. We're gonna go into Exodus 17 and 1. Got it, say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right. And all the congregation of the children of Israel journeyed from the wilderness of Sin after their journeys according to the commandment of Yahuwah, and pitched in Rephidim, and there was no water for the people to drink. So we see the Most High gave the children of Israel a commandment. And what was that commandment? That commandment was to leave the wilderness. That commandment was not, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal. That wasn't the commandment that he gave. So that lets you know that a commandment is something that the Most High gives a directive. It don't have to be something I've given you according to the covenant. It could be, hey, don't you do that. Don't do this. that can be a commandment as well. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
We see he said he gave them a commandment to leave the wilderness. To leave that wilderness of sin and come out. The wilderness is named sin, not partaking in sin.
Right.
In case somebody getting confused. Nah, it was a wilderness named sin. And then when you look up that word in the Hebrew, that word commandment is pay. And when you're dealing in Exodus 17:1, if people who got their blue letter Bible, you can pull it up. When you look into Exodus 17:1, you go into that word commandment, it deals with that, it says pay, basically meaning from the mouth. Meaning when the Most High spoke out of his mouth a strict directive. Also, an assent. Basically, when you deal with an assent, it deals with an express approval or an agreement. All right? So we see that the Most High, when he gives a directive, is not as a commandment as clear as we think a commandment is. Like, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal. Nah, if he tell you not to do something, if he tell you to go this way, go that way, even though you don't see it, hey, it ain't written in the law of Moses, nah. He telling you, that's his commandment, that's his word, obey that. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right, let's go to Deuteronomy 4 and 5. Let's get another example of a commandment. Deuteronomy 4 and 5.
Hallelujah.
All right. But, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as Yahuwah, my Elohim, Yahuwah, my Elohim commanded me, that ye do so in the land where you go to possess it. So we see three things happening here. We see a statute, we see a judgment, and we see where he say Yahuwah had commanded me. The commandment is what is basically the letter sent to the children of Israel, and on that letter is the statute and the judgment. So what the Most High speak out of his mouth is basically the letter, the delivery of what you're supposed to do. And in that delivery, what is written in it, which is the statutes and the judgment. And the judgments is the punishment or the deliberation the Most High came upon dealing with that law, like the man gathering the sticks. They had to deliberate and see what would be the judgment for this man gathering on the Shabbat. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right. Exodus 34. Going into another form of commandment. Exodus 34, 31 through 32. So we see two types of commandments. Let's look at this one. 34, 31 through 32. And Moshe called unto them, and Aaron, and all the rulers of the congregation returned unto him. And Moshe or Moses called with them. Now, hold on. And afterward, all the children of Israel came not. Let me read that again. 31. And Moshe or Moses called unto them. And Aaron and all the rulers of the congregation returned unto him. And Moses talked with them. So basically he called everybody together, the rulers, the heads. And afterwards all the children of Israel came not. And after that, children of Israel. And he gave them in commandment all that Yahuwah had spoken with him on Mount Sinai. So we know what was on Mount Sinai, right? Exodus 20. Those are the commandments as well. So we see there's the two type of commandments. And that word commandment there is another word that means savah, which means to command, to charge, and to order. And we see two types of commandments working. The first one is directive that he spake out of his mouth. Both of them came out of his mouth, but one is not necessarily the 10. So that don't mean do that mean we don't do the 10 because he give me a directive? No. Follow that directive and still keep the 10. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
The pay coming out of his mouth, yeah, that's a commandment. That's a directive. Hey, go this way, don't go that way. That's a commandment, and also the 10. Hallelujah, which came on the mount. All right, let's go into Leviticus. Hallelujah. Swing over here. Dealing with, let's see, yeah. Let's go into the ordinance. Leviticus 18, 25 through 30. Oh, Leviticus 18, 25 through 30.
Maybe take notes.
All right. Everybody there?
Hallelujah.
All right. Let's get it. Just breaking down these, understanding what these laws, statutes, and commandments, and ordinances, all these type of things in the Torah, get an understanding of. 25. All right, let's see. And the land is defiled, therefore I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it, and the land itself vomited out her inhabitants. Ye shall keep my statutes, there we go, and my judgments, talking about the penalty or the deliberation, what came of that law, and shall not commit any of the abominations, neither any of your own nation, nor any stranger that sojourn among you. So he gave us laws and statutes for us and for the people that sojourn among us. It just wasn't for Israel. 27, for all these abominations have the men of the land done, which were before you, the land is defiled. So he's telling you, you're going into a land that's defiled because the ones before you were wicked. They desecrated this land. This holy land that I set apart for you is defiled. So you had to take them out of the land. That's why they had to get rid of the people, because they were defiled. He told them to get rid of everybody, the kids, everything you see, and make this, because the land was holy, but it was defiled through the sin. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So we had to come and kick them out. Through Joshua and Caleb and all the different wars you see throughout Numbers. Let's see. 28. That the land spew not you out also. So he's saying the same thing. If you don't keep my laws and statutes and commandments, the law will spew you out as well. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
It's the same way they were getting spit out was because of their sin. So the way I'm using you to take them out. Somebody else gonna come and get you out if you go against that. And we already know a couple times the children of Israel, they got taken out the land because they defiled it. So the same thing we went in for. We was happy. We was all praises to the Most High. We want to get the land, and we took them out. And we lived there, and then our sin came, and we started defiling the land. The Most High kicked us out. He brought other people to get us out the same way we went and got the Amalekites, the Hittites, the Jergasites, and all these ites. We came and got out. We ended up getting out. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
He said, all right, where I'm at. Verse 29. That's right. For whosoever shall commit any of these abominations, talking about any of these sins y'all finna get into, even the soul that commit them shall be cut off from among his people. And so you get into this wicked, abominable acts, you're gonna be cut off. I'm not gonna, because he's telling you, this land is supposed to be holy and set apart. So if this land I made holy and you desecrated, you're going to be cut off. Hallelujah. Because he can't let that virus spread. He cannot let that infection spread throughout the congregation. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Verse 30. Therefore shall ye keep mine ordinance, that ye commit not any of these abominable customs. Because they were committing wicked customs. When you look into pre-exilic Israel, when they was going in, dealing with Canaan and stuff like that, all the gods they was following, dealing with Ashtoreth and dealing with Baal and dealing with all these other, the god Yahweh and all that, dealing with the Canaanite gods. Wicked, dealing with sacrifices and all that, killing people,
Killing kids.
yeah, killing kids through Molech.
Sacrificing to Molech.
Yeah. They dealt with all these different things, dealt with temple prostitution, all that kind of stuff they were dealing with when we went into that land. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
But you gotta remember who was the one who was spying. A harlot was spying. Was what helped keep the spies rather. What's her name? Rahab.
Rahab.
She was the father in the land. But guess what? She helped the children of Israel. So the Most High covered her sin because she helped the children of Israel. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. When he told you that should keep my ordinance, that you commit not any of these abominable customs, which were committed before you. So before you got here, they were doing this. Which were committed before you, and that ye defile not yourselves therein. Don't you become unclean. For I am Yahuwah, or the Lord, your Elohim. Alright, so we see that word ordinance. So what is the ordinance you're talking about? When you look up that word through the blue letter Bible, it means mishmarit. It means to keep, to guard, or to ward. You know what I'm saying? When you read that, therefore you shall guard. You shall guard these. Keep them, confine them. Because if you let it out, if you let it get out and you let something else in, you're going to become defiled. Hallelujah. So we always should hold his commandments, hold his law, confine them within our heart, confine them within our minds, our thinkings, our habits. Because if we get consumed, we're going to become defiled. Hallelujah. All right. Let's go into Numbers 2, Numbers 19. Got it, say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
All right.
No, Dad, you took it. Mine over here. No, that was mine.
All right. And the Lord, or Yahuwah, spake unto Moshe and unto Aharon, or Aaron, saying, this is the ordinance of the law. And we see the law and the ordinance are two separate things. Some people, a lot of people use ordinance and law as the same thing, but the scripture don't. It's telling you the ordinance of the law. So it's something that pertaining to the law that isn't the law itself. So ordinance cannot be a law. Essentially, not in this verse it can't.
Right.
Which Yahuwah have commanded, saying, speak unto the children of Israel that they bring thee a red heifer without spot, or wherein no blemish upon it, and never came yoked, basically. So basically I want to cover that top part to show you that a law and an ordinance can be two different things. But in this, and to also give that clarity, when you look at that word in the Hebrew, it means chukah. Chukah, it means something prescribed, an enactment, or a statute. So remember we was reading about a statute. A statute can be a law, but also it's a lettering that's within the law. The word is within that law that gives you understanding. Remember the man that was gathering sticks again? Him, I keep going back to him. The man that was gathering the sticks. And he died. And also, like I said, another thing that dealt with the statute, when the man, what was the other story? Well, Abinadab and Abihu, the two priests, they were drunk in the temple. Grabbed the censers and put the wrong thing in them, sent out the wrong fire to the Most High, and they died. And then after that, what the scripture say? Don't come into that's the language. Don't come in here drunk. Don't come into the temple online. That would be the statute. So we see ordinance and statute kind of had the same type of. They both mean the same thing. All right. Also, that word commandment in that dealing with that word commandment. Oh, let me go back. We ain't knocking my pages over. What was it, 19 and 2?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. The top of 2, it says, this is the ordinance of the law which Yahuwah have commanded, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, that Yahuwah have, that's what I want to get to, that Yahuwah have commanded. So that word commanded means savah, which we know, which means an order, a charge, like that. So basically, we see 3 things. We see the ordinance, and we see that law and the commandment. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Another point I want to go into. pull up some scriptures that go into all three. We'll see, sometimes we'll see law, statute, commandment, covenant, we'll see them all be placed in the same scripture or all at the same time. So we go to Deuteronomy 7 and 11, where to show you all three basically sitting there together. Deuteronomy 7. And 11.
Hallelujah.
All right. It says, thou. Thou shalt therefore keep the commandment and the statutes and the judgments which I command thee to do them. Wherein it shall come to pass if you hearken unto these judgments and keep them and do them, that Yahuwah thy Elohim or thy God shall keep thee the covenant and the mercy which he swore unto your father. So we see statutes, we see the judgment, we see, and all. Basically, that's a whole agreement with the children of Israel. And in that agreement, you dealt with the judgment, the penalty, or the deliberation that came on for breaking that law. And like I said, also dealing with the commandments, which commandments could be just a word out of the Most High's mouth, or directed. Hey, don't do that. Hey, go over here. Or it could be one of the 10 that he gave in Exodus 20. And like I said, and then it goes into the covenant. We know the covenant was basically everything that the Most High gave the children of Israel to follow. All the laws, basically. That will cover all the laws of Israel that he gave unto his people. All right, let's go into Deuteronomy 6 and 20. And when thy son asketh thee in time to come, saying, what mean the testimonies and the statutes and the judgments which Yahuwah or the Lord had commanded? So when he's basically saying when your kids or when your children ask you, so what time or what are these laws, statutes, and commandments? And he said 21, then shalt thou say unto thy son, we were Pharaoh's bondmen in Egypt, and Yahuwah brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand. Verse 22. And Yahuwah showed signs and wonders great and sore upon Egypt, and Pharaoh and upon all the household before our eyes. And he brought us from thence, and he might bring us in, to give us the land which he swore unto our fathers. 24, and Yahuwah commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear Yahuwah our Elohim for our good always, that he may preserve us alive, as it is at this time. So that's what you tell them. When your children, you teaching your children, these are why we keep these. He brought us up out of the land of Mitzrayim. He brought us through it. Even when we came out, we fought the Midianites. When he brought us through that, he brought us over the water. All these things, he brought us into a land that give us law, statutes, and commandments that we may follow, that we may be set apart from the world. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
That's the reason why he gave them to us, to be set apart. Set apart and to show others how to live set apart. We're like I gave a lesson a couple of Shabbats ago about being a light. When he called us to be a light to the world, he didn't call us just to be a light to Israel. We're not just their world. I know a lot of us wanted to be just that world, but it's going to be just more than just us. It is in the land of Israel. In the promised land, it's going to be more than just us. It's going to be other nations that's not of Israel. Because in the land of Israel, we were able to bring in what? We were able to bring in the strangers. We were able to bring in those that sojourn and those who wanted to join themselves to the covenant. So how big would it be when we get into the kingdom, we can't let nobody else in? That wouldn't be the Torah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
But guess what? They will have to follow what? The covenant. They will have to understand who the Most High is. Hallelujah. Let's get that in 1 Kings 8. I think that's 8, about 30, 35 or something like that. Somewhere in there. Starting at 35. 1 Kings 8. 8 and I believe 35. 1 Kings 8. That kind of goes into that prayer of Solomon. Well, it is the prayer of Solomon. Well, one part. 8:35. I'm trying to get there. I think he starts out in the prayer talking about when somebody goes to war, maybe. Or now when a stranger hears of thy fame out of the far country or something like that. It kind of go like that. No. Let me see. Okay, yeah, 41. All right, let's drop down to 41. Moreover, concerning a stranger that is not of thy people Israel. So we talk about a stranger that has no heritage, no commonwealth with our people Israel, but coming out of what? A far country for thy name's sake. So you see a stranger that left a country who don't know the Most High and don't know the people. But he heard about it through the fame, because things spread. Other nations, that's how they can know what's going on. Word got around. Hey, they go, Israel doing this, Israel doing that. And that's how they know when we were in our wickedness. And they would come and subdue us when we got in our wickedness. For they shall hear of thy great names, because they hear the great name of the Most High, talking about the stranger, and of thy strong hand, and thy stretched out arm, when he shall come and pray toward this house. Hear thou in heaven, thy dwelling place, and do according to all that the stranger calleth to thee for. So he's saying, hear the stranger. He ain't saying hear Israel, he saying hear the stranger. Y'all looking at that? And do according to all that the stranger called to thee. That all the people of who? Of the what? Are y'all following? All the people of what?
Israel.
May know thy name.
Yes, all the people of the earth may know thy name. Not just Israel. He want all people of the earth. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
As do who? Thy people. Let them get to know you just like we do. They want to get to know the Most High. Even the king understood that. And all his righteousness and all his authority, him being over the 12 tribes, reigning in Israel, he knew that there would be some strangers that wanted to come in. Because there have always been strangers that wanted to come and be a part of the covenant. And that they may know that this house which I have built is called by thy name. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right, so that's all I had pretty much going into the law. I just wanted to go into that little part. Hallelujah. I thank the Most High for the word. Next week, like I said, we'll be going into the tabernacle, going into the body. How does our physical body represent the tabernacle? Hallelujah.